Oh, the 13th floor. This is an episode I remember super, super well. And although while rewatching it this time, it's pretty void of any kind of logic. But all these episodes are, so it doesn't really matter. Oh man, I loved this episode when I was a kid. I just thought it was so cool. The freaking Tale of the 13th Floor is one of those iconic episodes for me for sure. I love this episode. And there's a line in the opening when the kids are, the kid's telling the story here, and she's like, "One of the scariest stranger can be yourself." And I thought that was a really good line, because if you're losing your mind, or if you don't know who you are, depersonalization or something like that, it is absolutely terrifying. Being someone who has suffered from something like that because of my anxiety, I completely understand, and it is terrifying to feel like there's a stranger looking back at you in the mirror. We get Aaron Ashmore here in this episode. You can never tell which of one of these twins it is when they're kids. So I was like, is that Sean or is that him? Or and it was Aaron. So he didn't have as many credits to his name that I could kind of rifle off here. I'm not as familiar with Aaron's work by any means. That's kind of like Jason and Jeremy London. It's like, which one? Because one's in Mallrats and one ain't. Like what? You have all these ones. These kids live in an apartment building that only has 13 floors, and they have an on-staff all-day elevator operator in the 90s? Really? Like, that's a thing still? Like, is there places, I'm sure there's some places that want to have the experience of something a little more, old-fashioned or something. They might throw them on there for fun. I know when I went to the top of the Eiffel Tower in Vegas, they have a guy, but that's because you have to go up and down. Like, that's part of the experience, the ride, whatever. But yeah, I don't buy it. There's no way. But that guy gets replaced, and there's a new one, and they just refuse to ride with this guy. I guess they had a very, very good relationship with this elevator operator, who seemed to only give them crap for going up to the 13th floor to play hockey. So I'm not sure why they liked that guy so much, but maybe because they just thought he was looking out for them. So the girl gets the invitation to go up to the 13th floor because overnight a toy company popped up there, which is absolutely impossible. But these are kids. They don't question anything. She's getting TV messages in the night. Her TV's going on. She keeps trying to turn it off. She doesn't understand why the hell it's happening. She finally, she decides she will only go if her adopted brother, she's adopted, he's not, will go up to the 13th floor with her. He does. They're like, he wasn't invited. He's like, I ain't leaving, so you either take us both or you don't at all. And so they bring him in to test out toys. And while they're in there, she's always tired of being second best to her because her brother has better genes than her. It's not the fact that he's a boy. I'm not trying to be sexist here, but boys tend to be a little better when it comes to sports and such, like hockey. And he looks like he's a year or two older as well. So I don't know. She's just like, you're so much better than me. This must be your genes. It's like, yeah, about that. Now I'll get blasted by chicks in here like, you son of a bitch. Whatever. Come on at me. We're talking about children here. I hate that I even have to address stuff like that. We have such a fucking sensitive culture now. Damn, I'm not supposed to cuss in these. I already had to delete one, but I'm not going to do it. You know what? I want my kids to hear that one. If they even watch this, which they probably won't until they're like 20. Where am I? I'm rambling as usual. So this guy has like this thing that changes the atmosphere to match the planet they're from, and it's like dampening her brother's cognitive ability, so he can't really think, and she's beating him, and she's so excited. And then she goes over to this next ride, and they're just gonna take her up and get her to go. And she looks up, and the door opens, and there's all these like creatures, faceless creatures, like reaching down at her. That's a scary looking scene, man. If you were a kid, that would be terrifying, especially like videos in the night from these alien beings, and then this alien, like they're strapped in this chair. She finds out she has, psychokinesis, so she can move things with her mind. And I like how when she finds out she has this hit, she immediately applies it. Like instantaneously. It's like Rey in The Force Awakens, where as soon as she realizes she has any powers, she uses them to her, to her ability immediately. She doesn't go like, oh, I don't know. Like, no, it's instant. Like, oh, I have that? All right, well then I'm just going to completely dominate this situation. And she gets them out of there. And they're telling her, like, you don't understand, like, you need to come, we've been looking for you. It's been 10 years, blah, blah. And they go away, fly away, because they can't stay there any longer. I don't know why, because the atmosphere is being pushed to their level, so they should be fine. I don't understand. It doesn't matter. Why they didn't just come in and just grab her? Like, of course, that would be a little more psychologically damaging, but I think after, like, a week, she'd be fine. She'd be like, oh, okay, I understand now, because I'm an alien, and I shouldn't have stayed there, and whatever. Why she's not getting sick, and why she can acclimate so fast when they're just, like, cranking it up in, like, 5 seconds. As I said, just completely throw away any kind of logic. Which they had to build an entire toy factory, and the brother wasn't even supposed to be invited, so why was there 2 sides to it? As I said, no logic in this episode, in the slightest. And then when it's all done and they break out of there, the brother's response was, well, that was weird. That was weird? Really? That was a hell of a lot more than weird. Oh my goodness. And then he turns and his sister has got an alien head and he runs off, and then she finds out that she can't even get taken back to her planet for 10 more years. So now that she has her face, because that guy has to peel his face off. So is that a fake face she's wearing? I mean, she would have noticed if she wasn't. That doesn't make any sense. Like, her face, what? Like, we see in the video, her mom's face, I guess, kind of, like, morphs back into it. But once they're gone and her atmosphere goes back to Earth's, like, wouldn't she be turning as their atmosphere was turning on, is kind of what was happening to them. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. This episode makes no sense at all, but I still love it. Doesn't matter. It's a fun episode. So, yeah. Moving on.